John James Audubon was a naturalist and an explorer who arrived in early America in the 1800s, and he set out to document every single species of bird in North America. It's a project that took him 12 years, and he created a series of hundreds of lithographs that he eventually compiled into a gorgeous 2-foot by 3-foot book called The Birds of America, or the Double Elephant Folio. The New York Historical Society is lucky enough to own one of these books, and in 2008, I went and saw an exhibition of about 40 of the birds in the book. The premise of this exhibition was that these 40 birds would be extinct in 10 years. It was 7 years ago, and it was one of the most depressing exhibitions I've ever seen. I was struck in that moment sort of by two things: the incredible vastness of the human society that we live in today, and the incredible difference between Audubon's time and ours. That in just a short period of time, really only a couple hundred years, we've moved from incredible vast wilderness to a period where 50% of the planet's wildlife have just gone extinct in the last 40 years. I also concluded that that's not a future I want, and I want to try to design a better future. We're living in an incredibly transformative time. It's a profound change, and it's one that we've not yet collectively caught up with. There's a name being proposed for this era, and it's the Anthropocene, or the Age of Humankind. It's a term that signifies that we've reached a stage in our planetary history where human beings are a dominant ecological presence in every ecosystem of the globe. So basically, we are nature. It's not over there anymore. And that means then that all of our systems, so our cities and our highways, are ecological. And one of the things that we've been doing is completely inadvertently, it's not our fault, is designing biodiversity out of our systems. So I started to wonder, what then would it look like to design biodiversity back in? Could we create a stable and lasting network for other species that could completely intersect and span the globe? And with 50% of the human population now living in urban areas, what could we do in the city? So in 2008, I moved to my hometown of Seattle, and I got to work on that idea. I set out to make a public design project that would connect landscape and would support declining native pollinators. When most people think of pollinators, they think of the honeybee, and the honeybee is a beloved domestic collaborator. It's a non-native species. It was brought here from Europe to North America. It's originally a Eurasian species. And we use them in our farming landscapes because of the lack of biodiversity in those systems. There's a whole other world here, though. 80% of the planet's plant life is pollinated by something. So these are bats, bees, beetles, ants, butterflies, midges, flies. And when I say bees, I'm talking about the 20,000 species of bees globally, and about 800 to 1,000 in the Northwest, and maybe 4,000 in the United States. All of these pollinators are effectively pollinating everything we see. So every plant, every shrub, every tree that you see is pollinated by something. And they are basically the reproductive strategy for plant life, and therefore for ecosystems. And ecosystems thrive best when they're connected. So I set about making a beautiful public design project. It's called the Pollinator Pathway. And the point was to connect Seattle University's campus, which is over on 12th and Columbia, to a small woods called Nora's Woods on 29th and Columbia. How I did this was by inviting the community that lives in between these two spaces, one narrow street, inviting them to participate in this project by transforming this simple grass planting strip into a garden that we researched and designed and built for them, so that together, when everyone participated, we would connect these two landscapes. I meant to build this project as a sort of site of study for myself, and I planned to work on it for about 10 years. And it's been more infectious than I ever imagined. At this point, I've worked with over 1,500 people on this project. I've worked with ecologists, entomologists, designers, architects, and planners who are all enthusiastic and want to try to help push this idea forward. The project's been a site of study for various entomologists who come out once per week to monitor the project, and it's a living classroom for 3 different universities. The result is a public design project that's infectious, that's biodiverse, and that's connected. If this were just one project, it really wouldn't be a success. And so this year, I've opened up to partnerships with different agencies and design firms and architects and agencies around the world to begin to build criteria for developing further projects just like this. This year, I developed a partnership with Capitol Hill Housing, the nonprofit developer, and with Seattle City Light, and with Seattle University to build 3 brand new pollinator pathways. If I can think of a difference between Audubon's time and ours, it's that we've moved from a time of wilderness to a period of fragmented ownership of landscape. And what this project's really trying to do is to connect across those ownerships towards connected ecology. The end result, I hope, is a connected landscape that works from cities to farms to wilderness in a national system of ecological design. Thank you.